This is some serious, serious business. They ain't even just talking about his abuse, one of which was caught on video when he hit his ex-girlfriend or his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. This isn't even just about continuous physical abuse spanning years in terms of the allegations and accusations that have been thrown out about him. They're calling this a criminal enterprise, which means there's a boatload of other people involved. They're using words like essentially implying there was a ring going on.
The courtroom drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs' trial is already a spectacle as the charges and testimonies continue to grow. We'll now look at the 10 most shocking events from Diddy's trial. Due to claims that his enterprises were engaged in a system of coercion, including secret meetings, the music mogul is facing serious charges of trafficking and racketeering. As the trial goes on, the environment is charged with enormous stakes. Diddy's legal team is investing every dollar they can to deny these claims. According to the prosecution, he exploited others by using his wealth and influence as a weapon. Since tensions at pretrial hearings have already exploded into heated arguments about leaked evidence and accusations of bias, it is clear that the trial, which is set for May 2025, will be closely watched.
Developing at 5, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back inside a federal courtroom here in New York.
All right, a trial date's now been set for May 5th of next year. Lisa Evers live in Lower Manhattan with the very latest today. Lisa.
Well, Stephen, Natasha, this was Sean Diddy Combs' third time in the courthouse you see right behind me, his first time before a new judge. They did handle these calendar matters and also set that May 5th, 2025 date for the trial to begin. But what was most striking...
As the trial continues, the entertainment world has been shocked by these 10 most absurd instances to date, which have also sparked further inquiries about Diddy's lavish and controversial lifestyle. One of the most striking aspects of Combs' trial was his first court appearance. As Judge Aaron Subramanian lectured, Diddy sat silently between his attorneys, looking conspicuously confined in a beige, wrinkled prison uniform with shackles around his ankles. Concerns over media coverage and leaks of sensitive information that might compromise the jury's impartiality led the court to discuss the possible use of a gag order.
So, Brianna, the judge has set a May 5th trial date for Sean Diddy Combs to face those charges of racketeering, conspiracy, transportation. Diddy was in court today. He entered the courtroom wearing a jail-issued outfit, khaki long-sleeve shirt and pants. He was also shackled at the ankles. His family members were in the courtroom, his mother and most of his children. He had waved to them, blew at his mother, and one of his sons had raised and flexed his arm, his bicep, as though to show a sign of strength. Now, this hearing was mostly about procedural issues, working through some of the evidence in the case. Prosecutors said they collected.
This early image of Diddy, who is now in detention and facing serious criminal accusations, had a profound impact on those there. Another shocking aspect of this trial was when Homeland Security raided Diddy's homes and seized the shocking evidence that demonstrated Diddy's wrongdoings. Authorities discovered a plethora of shocking evidence during searches of many of Diddy's homes, which has fueled the ongoing trial. According to the prosecution, almost 1,000 bottles of baby oil were seized at the well-known parties, which were notorious for their disorderly and unruly atmosphere. The massive quantity of baby oil raises questions about the purpose of these gatherings and what was happening in Diddy's opulent homes. When police discovered illicit firearms and drugs with obliterated serial numbers, the seriousness of the accusations against him escalated even more. In the context of Diddy's parties, these items have acquired important symbolic implications that allude to the excess and lawlessness that defined his social gatherings. Wide-ranging implications result from this information, casting doubt on the validity and security of the events the music mogul planned.
Details about Diddy's alleged abuse. They found, apparently they said, what did they find? The amount of stuff they found on the place, which was ridiculous.
100 bottles of baby oil.
50 Cent trolls Diddy and his 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil found in a federal raid. He took a shot at Diddy after his longtime rival was arrested on and racketeering charges. He says the In the Club rapper 49 posted a picture on Instagram from his appearance on the Drew Barrymore show and made a crack about $1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil that were seized by Homeland Security at Combs' home back in March. Here I am looking good with the Drew Barrymore 50-cent caption alongside a snap of himself on Drew Barrymore 49.
The indictment against Diddy exposed a troubling aspect of his alleged behavior: secret camera footage of his notorious parties. The prosecution claims that Diddy recorded these interactions without the participants' consent or knowledge, so creating a secret library of damaging information. This video reportedly had two purposes. In addition to recording the costly and sometimes chaotic nature of the events, it also became a tool for manipulation. The prosecution claims that Diddy used the recordings as a kind of blackmail, manipulating victims and others close to him by taking advantage of the sensitive subject matter. The case becomes much more complicated as a result of this revelation, which brings to light concerns about privacy, authorization, and the misuse of power. Serious repercussions result from such allegations, which reveal a predatory pattern of behavior that raises the question of how far Diddy may have gone to maintain his influence and authority within his social and professional networks.
You know Diddy, right?
Yes.
In what way?
Back in the 90s, I was assigned to the NYPD. I was the hip-hop cop back then, so I had to assist in arresting him in several instances where there were some crimes committed.
What were those arrests for?
One was the Club New York shooting. He was with J-Lo at the time, and the other one was the Steve Stout assault that happened with MTV.
When allegations started to surface about Diddy's alleged party films, the trial took an unexpected turn. Due to claims that have inspired wild conjecture regarding the nature of these recordings, social media platforms are rife with arguments over whether celebrities may have unintentionally been captured during Diddy's extravagant parties. Curiosity has reached a fever pitch as both fans and detractors make wild guesses about the potential consequences for famous people in difficult situations. This has not only increased public interest in the trial, but also sent the media into a frenzy as they search for anybody who could be connected. The mystery behind the recordings is an intriguing subplot that crosses the lines between serious legal claims and entertaining gossip. As the trial progresses, these rumors might have major repercussions for all parties involved, adding to the already complex and dramatic case.
He's got guns and he's got coated VHS tapes. I would have went in a hazmat suit.
Jaguar Diddy is allegedly earning an astounding $500 million by selling tapes of his infamous parties on the dark web, according to Wright's astonishing charges. Since it seems that the tapes include private and perhaps damning film of well-known celebrities, this shocking revelation raises serious questions about authorization and privacy. Wright says that rather than being regarded as just a party host, Diddy is presented as a strategist who uses his connections for financial gain. Such accusations have important consequences, since they can lead to a more careful investigation of the validity of these transactions and the ethical implications of exploiting private moments for commercial advantage.
Last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas.
Jaguar. According to Wright, recordings of Diddy's infamous parties are finding their way onto the dark web and being traded for massive quantities of dark coin, a cryptocurrency that is well-liked because to its anonymity. This revelation raises serious concerns about the safety and privacy of those who were filmed, since the allure of such materials may draw in customers looking for uncommon and perhaps dangerous information. The use of dark currencies in these transactions, which allow for untraceable transactions that are easy to avoid detection by law enforcement, complicates the situation. In addition to having interesting content, Wright says the recordings have become a useful tool for anybody wishing to conduct crimes.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah, like...
Because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16, and he had them dressed like prostitutes, and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
Another shocking event during Diddy's trial was the court rejecting his bail application in spite of an incredible offer. In their last plea, Diddy's attorneys offered a $50 million bond package, supported by his mother's home and his lavish $48 million home on Miami's Star Island. This substantial financial pledge showed how far Diddy's team was willing to go to secure his freedom. In addition to the property promise, they offered additional assurances, including GPS monitoring and rigorous travel restrictions that limited his travel to Florida, New York, and New Jersey. As an additional compliance measure, Diddy's private aircraft, which he purportedly plans to sell, will remain grounded. After the judge rejected the bail plea, despite these significant measures intended to alleviate the court's concerns, many were shocked and questioned the gravity of the allegations and the court's decision to keep Diddy in prison. In addition to highlighting the gravity of the situation, this refusal adds a fresh dimension to an already dramatic trial.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail. Today, they are even offering to restrict female visitors to his homes, except for his mother, daughters, and the mothers of his children if he is released. They told the judge the jail he was being sent to is dreadful, dirty, inhuman, and an ongoing tragedy.
How's your dad doing? How's your dad doing?
Family members appeared somber as they arrived at federal court in Manhattan today in another attempt to get out on bail.
The next thing that worried those watching Diddy's trial was the announcement that an incredible 120 victims had come forward with claims against him. This enormous influx of accusations has shaken the courts, since the sheer number of persons alleging misconduct might significantly impact the proceedings. Every fresh testimony only adds to the mounting strain Diddy and his legal team are under to manage a complex web of accusations that include a lot of serious allegations. It is more difficult for Diddy's defense to dispute the dominant narrative because of the sheer number of alleged victims, which emphasizes the gravity of the situation and raises significant concerns about its breadth.
As I said, our law firms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs. You should know, in this group, it is evenly divided between males and females. There are 60 males and 60 females who have joined us to pursue these claims as plaintiffs. In this group, 62% identify as African American, 30% are white, and the remainder are Hispanic or Asian.
But one especially concerning element of Diddy's trial was the allegations of witness tampering. Diddy reportedly attempted to coerce victims and potential witnesses into not cooperating with law police by exerting pressure and perhaps offering bribes. These substantial charges raise major concerns about the reliability of the witness testimony and the overall safety of everyone involved in the case. In addition to jeopardizing the legal system, if verified, this behavior reveals a troubling pattern of intimidation that may affect future victims' willingness to come forward. It casts doubt on the processes and raises the question of how far Diddy would go to evade punishment if he believed he would employ these tactics to protect himself and avoid accountability. The public's and media's scrutiny of the already dramatic trial is intensified and given still another degree of complexity as these claims progress.
The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended performances with male commercial, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial and often involved a variety of which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs.
Among the most disturbing details in Diddy's indictment are allegations that he used narcotics to coerce his victims and get their cooperation during his notorious gatherings. This disturbing fact raises severe ethical and legal concerns regarding his behavior, as it implies a planned strategy to keep control over his visitors. According to the prosecution, Diddy intentionally used drugs to coerce and take advantage of individuals, compromising their consent in the process. He reportedly administered intravenous fluids to aid in the victim's recovery after these incidents, underscoring the planned and exploitative character of his behavior. Such conduct has serious ramifications, showing a disturbing pattern of predatory behavior in addition to a lack of concern for the welfare of others.
Hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse.
Smith compared Diddy's situation to well-known cases like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein in order to illustrate the broader implications for the entertainment industry. Smith emphasized that rather than being about a single individual, Diddy's arrest would expose a larger network in Hollywood and the music industry, perhaps exposing others.
You went after Jeffrey Epstein. You went after Harvey Weinstein. Who else are you after? You're trying to get everybody. And that's what I think this is about. And I'm just reading from some of these stories because I think it's important to point this out. When you highlight and you talk about some of the charges that have been leveled against him, and you see some of the stuff that's being said about him. Look at this right here. Former Danity Kane singer Aubrey O'Day writes, "I never thought I would see this day," she told TMZ. "We all buried this inside of us in order to be able to keep going. And not just me, but victims you don't even know yet. We're all processing what that type of vindication can actually feel like now. Every conversation I've had with victims last night has been beyond moving on all levels." That was Aubrey O'Day. You know 50 Cent was going to make sure his voice was heard. Clowning P.Diddy. Taunting him, basically, because he's long taunted P.Diddy for years.
When Diddy's family united to show their unwavering support at his first court appearance, it was yet another tragic moment. Up a wordless interaction that revealed their closeness despite the legal turmoil, his mother came up from Florida to join his 3 daughters and 3 sons, who filled the courtroom gallery. Diddy gave his family a mouthful of "I love you." His countenance softened as he recognized them. Diddy's mother flew in from Florida to attend his court appearance, giving the music mogul further support at this difficult time. Her attendance in the courtroom serves as a reminder of the importance of family. During their brief conversation amid the stress of the day, witnesses saw that Diddy was particularly appreciative of his mother's help, smiling and waving to her. This act highlights the emotional bond and Amal relationship, which may provide strength in times of adversity.
He's a predator.
When is the last time you spoke to your son?
He's a predator and he deserves it.
When's the last time you spoke to your son?
He's a predator. Do an interview with me. His son is a predator. Got it.
Anyone else?
Please leave your opinion about the shocking charges that surrounding Diddy's trial in the space provided for comments below.